and just put. Okay, fabulous. So welcome to our call. Boom. This is our Monday Mindset Call where we have been here every single Monday for the past 4 years. I'm so excited to be able to do this on this amazing bank holiday, Monday, the 28th of August, 2023, guys. And this month we have been looking at the 4 agreements. It was so loaded that we ended up doing it for 2 months. And as we come to the end of this month, we've made it to the very last 2 chapters. Last week, we spoke about a little bit on the 4th agreement. And now we're going to head on home to the last 2 chapters in the book. So hopefully you guys have been able to read it. We're going to have a quick talk about it. And then we'll open up at the end for any questions or any comments that we may have. So we spoke about chapter 1, which was around domestication and the dream of the planet. And what that, that chapter was talking about was how all of us kind of believe from what we were taught from when we were younger, when we were children. It actually says that we are domesticated because we just absorbed whatever information we were given from our parents, from our environment. And the book actually said that through the power of repetition, that's how we've learned everything that we know. So that was chapter 1. And how many of us can agree right now that the things that we know is based on what we've been doing all the time? You know, a lot of the times when I'm mentoring people, you hear them, well, that's how I've always done it. This is what I've always done. And that is the way that we learn. We are very domesticated human beings through the power of repetition. And the book talks about how we've trained our children in the same way we would train domesticated animals. And when we go against the rules, okay, as children, we're punished. And when we do the rules, then we are rewarded. So our mind is always thinking about this sort of punishment and reward type system. And based on what we are punished for, forms our agreements, and based on what we're rewarded for forms our agreements. Okay, the reward feels good, the punishment obviously doesn't, right? And so the domestication is so strong that at certain points in our lives we don't even need anyone else to domesticate us, because we go ahead and domesticate ourselves, just like how an animal would, because we are trained. So we are so trained that we are like animals, guys. We now domesticate ourselves. That's why some of us don't invest in ourselves. That's why some of us don't love ourselves. That's why some of us allow substandard relationships. That's why there's so many things that we allow based on the belief system that we have been given and that we've believed in from a young age, almost like the good girl, bad girl type scenario. And I do my best not to say that to my children. Well done, you're being a good girl. I don't use that word good girl. And I've made that very, very intentional, because I don't want them to associate, good girl with certain things and bad girl with certain things. I want them to be able to see this is why we do things, and how you do things it doesn't determine on whether you're a good girl, bad girl. This is just the way that you do things, because otherwise we domesticate ourselves. So that was chapter 1. The second chapter was about being impeccable with their word, being impeccable with our word. And I think that was a powerful, that's the first agreement, by the way, being impeccable with the word, and why it's important, regardless of what language you speak, your word is your power. And we have the power to create or destroy using our words. It also talks about how the word is the most powerful thing that a human being can have, but it is a two-edged sword. The word can create the most beautiful dream, but it can also destroy the one around you and create a nightmare. Depending on how your words are used, can set you free, or it can indeed enslave you. And we spoke heavily on how the mind is like fertile ground where seeds are continually planted, and the seeds, opinions, and ideas and concepts that we plant are seeds and thoughts that grow. And the word is like a seed. The human mind is so fertile that whatever we decide to feed it, that's what it is. And we spoke about how, that we wanted to be people of our word, that we wanted to say what we were going to do and do what we're going to say, do what we say. that we're going to do, and how we spoke about, sometimes it's very disappointing when, somebody says they're going to do something and then they don't do it. It can be, it can lose credibility. You could, destroy relationships. There can be all sorts of, complications and miscommunication when people just don't do what they say they're going to do. So we really went in on being impeccable with our word and understanding that words are seed and words are powerful. Now, the second agreement, which is the third chapter, was around don't take anything personally. And, this one was powerful for me because it says nothing other people do is because of you. It is because of themselves. All people live in their own dream, in their own mind. And the reason why we take it personally is because you either agree with them or it's a soft spot for you, okay? And we spoke about how the poison goes through you and then you're trapped in the dream of hell if you take things personally. Taking things personally makes you easy prey for your predators. Oh, wow. They can hook you in easily with one little opinion. And then they feed you with that poison, which ultimately destroys you, destroys your self-esteem, destroys your character. Why? Because you eat it up. They feed you that poison and you eat it up. And it's important, it says, to not take things personally, not to assume. And we spoke about that as well, right? What people say about you absolutely doesn't matter. What people think about you doesn't matter. In fact, it's a reflection on their own agreements that they have with themselves, right? Because everything is formed by our agreements. So if somebody doesn't like you, or somebody doesn't do what they say they're going to do, or somebody says something negative about you, then it doesn't actually mean anything. In fact, it means more about that person than it does about you. And it's important that you understand that, because sometimes we can be very self-absorbed where we think everything's about us, but actually it isn't. Somebody's opinion of you is none of your business. In fact, their opinion of you is only about themselves. It's only a reflection of themselves, right? So that was a really, really powerful agreement. I really love the bit where it says, when you take things personally, then you feed into being offended. And your reaction is to then defend your beliefs and then create conflicts. And then what you end up doing is you explaining yourself with all these explanations. You make something big out of something so small because you have the need to be right and you make everybody else wrong. And so what you do is you make sure that you give them all your opinions, hoping that it will change their mind. But all that is a projection of your own personal dream, a reflection of your own agreements, right? So what you say, what you do, and the opinions you have according to the agreements you've made. And those opinions, guys, have nothing to do with anybody else, right? Has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with anybody else. How you think and what you believe is solely down to the agreements that you've told yourself. Now, it's important, okay, to me, to let you guys know today that what other people think about you doesn't matter. Don't take other people's opinions personally. Very important. Because whether somebody says you're the best person or the worst person, the honest truth is either way, it shouldn't affect you because you know who you are. You're confident in who you are. You have self-esteem. You have self-worth, right? I put up a post the other day, guys, in regards to self-worth and in regards to knowing who I am. And it was after I read this chapter again and I realized that actually people treat you how you allow them to treat you. People will take if you are a consistent giver, and you have to learn to set boundaries, right? Someone type boundaries inside the chat box, right? You've got to learn to set boundaries. If you fail to set boundaries, people will continue to take from you. That's how it works. These are laws, right? Like if you throw a ball up, what's going to happen is that ball's going to come back down, right? That's the law of gravity. Well, the law states is if you are a giver, you are going to attract people that like givers. i.e. people that like to take. So if you are somebody with a heart like that and you love to give, guys, I love to serve, I love to give, I will sit on the phone with people for hours, but I've had to learn to set boundaries, because what happens is you can then damage yourself and you can give off the wrong signals to people where they begin to take more than you have to offer. They begin to not really value, you know, the power that's on the inside of you, the anointing that's on the inside of you. They begin to really take what it is that you have and not really appreciate it. The word says that familiarity breeds contempt, right? And so I put that on my status, and guys, you would not believe how many people messaged me on that day to say, Nikki, this spoke to me. I'm that person that always gives. I'm that person that's always giving, always giving, always giving. But for some reason, people just keep taking. I said, the reason why is because you keep on giving. And sometimes you're giving in the wrong soil. And we're not here to talk about that today, right? But you got to have confidence in who you are so that you understand boundaries, right? You understand boundaries, which means you don't take things personally, but the way that you see the world can be from a very balanced outlook. Right? Powerful, powerful stuff. That's the second agreement, guys. I absolutely love this. Right? One of the things that the second agreement talks about, I don't know if any of you guys have saw that, which is the maitot, which is it talks about the mind having 100 messages going on, thousands and thousands, hundreds and thousands of messages going on in your brain all at the same time. Have you ever been in a place where you're thinking about so many different things? You're planning this, you've got the kids, you've got the house, you've got this, you've got that, you've got work, you've got business, so many things going on. And the way that the book describes the maitot is, imagine being in a market and thousands of people are talking all at the same time. That's what's happening inside your brain. Now, the maitot, compared to this huge marketplace in your brain, okay, thousands of people talking, bantering at the same time. Each one has different thoughts, different feelings, different emotions, all going on. And this programming in your mind of all these agreements that are happening all at the same time are not necessarily compatible with each other. Every agreement, like a separate living being, can be in your mind conflicting all the time. And this is why, because of all these different voices, this is why, ladies and gentlemen, that us as humans hardly know what we want, according to the book. It says that what we do is we don't agree with ourselves because of all these different parts in our mind. Part of our mind says, I really want to do this. Part of my mind says, oh, I can't be bothered. I can't afford it. Another part of the mind says, are you really capable? Another part of the mind saying, remember what happened last time? Another part of the mind saying, yeah, but you want more out of life. Another part of the mind saying, look at your bank account. You desperately need to do something. Another part of your mind saying, let me go for the cheaper option. I put a message up on my stories last week about people going for the cheaper option. I believe that it's the part of this whole mindset thing with the old maitot. But let me tell you this, guys, people that go onto stuff and look for the cheapest option available rather than the products, rather than the services, rather than the actual the substance of what it is, there's a problem there. And I want to speak to you. If you're always giving to other people, but you never give to yourself, you never invest in yourself, you're never you don't believe that you're worth it. You think it's too much. You think that it's a lot. I've heard that word a lot before. I was speaking to a lady, she runs a corporate company, and she introduced me to her director. I had a really powerful conversation with her director, and we were talking about a deal that I was gonna run a couple of workshops for their company. They have over 500 like workers in their company, and they asked me to run a workshop for them. And so I sent my I sent the proposition over. I answered all their all the things that they wanted, their priorities, sent it over. And the lady who was the not receptionist, but she's like the head secretary, she was like, when she got the quotation, she was like, oh, wow, this is quite a lot. And I said, the word a lot is in perspective to who it is that's reading it. So if you can send it over to the director, I'm sure they won't believe it's a lot. And, you know, it was an awkward kind of like tension. And then the director called me and said, is that your price? Is that all? And if I ever told the director that this woman had said it's a lot, she probably would have been fired. And, you know, I gave him a slight discount, right? But that one deal, £17,500 for that one deal, okay? And that is 3 hours worth of work, right? I say that to you guys because what is a lot to some people is cheap for somebody else. In fact, the fact that it was so cheap, the guy was on the phone with me for an extra hour, double checking that I could actually fulfill what it is that he wanted me to fulfill. And so when you hear people and they come to your business or they're discussing things, I had to really say to myself, and I hope you say this to yourself as well, that if somebody thinks that what you provide is a lot, they are not the customer for you. You got to make sure that you're confident in what it is that you're doing. Sometimes some of these customers are my toes. Some of these customers are the ones that's giving you negative self-belief, self-doubt, because you're so used to hanging around people that want a discount all the time. You're so used to hanging around this guy. Guys, do you know that he would have paid over 20, I think it was 27,000 was his budget, right? And I said to him, I was like, listen, this is the first year discount. It's not gonna be like that every year, right? But his budget was 27,000. But because I'm used to people that always want discounts all the time, I gave him 17,777. Right? How are you pitching your business? How are you pitching? What's your self-worth? What's the agreements that you have made within yourself to decide whether you're worth it or not? You see, sometimes it's not even about a monetary value. Sometimes it's about your presence. Sometimes it's about who you hang around, who you spend most of your time with, right? Me, I tell you this, I'm a giver. I always want to give value. Always want to give value, always want to pour into others. And I've had to now draw the line and say, no, Nikki, because there are some takers out there that just want to take, but they don't really want to invest. You see, you have to be careful, guys, in how you spread your time. I had a girl call me today and, you know, she said to me, Nikki, she asked me a question. And I said to her, was you on the training call that I did just an hour ago? And she was like, oh no, I was just, you know, chilling at home, sorting out the dinner. And I said, well, you see, the question you just asked me, I just explained it for over an hour on the call. So what you may have to do is you may need to book a time to come back next week to be able to hear that. You see, a lack of attention and a lack of honor removes certain promises and certain blessings in your life. This is the law. This is not to be mean. This is not to be, guys, I'll tell you this. I'm not mentoring no one and telling them the nicey. That's not going to happen. And if anybody wants me to mentor them, and if anybody wants me to really help them get to a place where they are right now, they want to elevate, I'm going to give it to you real. I'm going to give it to you raw. If whatever you fail to recognize exits your life, that is, you guys, we did this book. One of the 7 laws you must honor to have uncommon success. Whatever you fail to recognize will exit your life, right? Honor is the seed for more. Honor is the seed that's going to help you to become successful. But if you fail to recognize it, if you fail to show up, if you fail to do what you need to do, that blessing will exit your life. And so how do you honor, guys? There's 2 ways to honor. You serve your way in or you pay your way in. There's only 2 ways to get in the right rooms. You serve your way in or you pay your way in. That's it. You cannot expect to reap from, get a harvest from crops that you haven't poured into, that you haven't fed, from seeds that you haven't helped to plant. And so here's what happens when we understand that all these parts are going through into our mind. All these different parts, the mitotes, are really going through. But that's the reason why us as humans, not only do we not know what we want, but what happens is those parts, they're so opposite each other, they're so conflicting that we get addicted to suffering. We actually are addicted to things going wrong. We're addicted to negativity. In fact, when we hear opportunities, the first thing we say is, what's the worst that can happen? Tell me worst case scenario. Even the way that we do things, guys, you know, on different levels, different degrees, we are addicted to the negative stuff. And so when we take things personally, what happens is we set ourselves up to suffer even more. Because guess what? Have you ever heard something and it wasn't even about you, but you heard it and you're like, wow, she's talking to me. Hold on, is that about me? Or you read a post from somebody and you're like, oh my God, why is it? Is she throwing shade at me? Is she talking to me? I once had a girl, following the Holy Spirit, reading a book. She called me, she's like, Nikki, I just want to know, are we cool? I'm like, huh? She's like, your mindset cool. It sounds so personal. I was like, girl, I don't even know nothing about your life. I'm just going for the Holy Spirit. You take things personally because you think it yourself, right? Because that's where our mind is programmed. We got to get away from thinking negative. We got to get away of assuming that everything is about us. That second agreement, boom. It says, if someone is not treating you with love and respect, it is a gift if they walk away from you. Oh, glory. Do you know that freed me? I'm actually going to post that. I've scheduled to post that on my story tomorrow on my page. Let me read this again. If others say one thing, but do another, okay? So they lie to you. It's like I had somebody today say, Nikki, I'm signing up. 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 Every minute showing me screenshots. I'm signing up. Something's going wrong. I can't find my card. I said, look, you let me know when you're ready. And if I'm still ready to mentor you, then I'll mentor you. Like, I'm not playing around. Like, you're having somebody that's going to walk you through 6 to 7 figures and you playing around with your card. Mate, listen, if it's not done today, we're not playing. We're not playing this game no more. No more freebies. No more messing about. No more in and out stuff. You ask me a question. If you're not part of the mentorship, then you won't pay for it. There's no, like, you got to get to the point now where you say enough is enough. Because when you go into McDonald's to buy that burger, you ain't hesitating to pay for that burger. And here's what happens, guys, is they won't pay you because they're happy to take from you for free, but they'll find somebody else and they'll pay somebody else, right? Had a girl this week, blew her account. She said to me, Nikki, I don't want to pay the £200 to learn to trade. I don't pay the $250. You know what she did? Went back to the streets. Found a little road man on the corner, £99 a month. You know what she did? Saw us all celebrating our trades and she blew her account, lost money. Nikki, I need your help. Oh, now you want to come for the help. Now you want to come for the help because you didn't value me before because $250 was too much, but you done lost now over $250 in the marketplace and now you want to come to me for help. I said, yeah, cool, sign up. I ain't saying another word in English. Sign up, find the money. Find the money and pay for what you want. You see, being free, guys, isn't free. Freedom ain't free. And some of you got to posture up. Some of you, this is why, listen, when you're mentored by me, you're going to start believing in yourself. You're going to start believing in yourself. You're going to wake up one day and you're going to say, oh my God, I am who I am. Let me look myself in the mirror and realize that I've been suffering for, how long have I been in the dark? How long have I been in the dark? I needed someone to shake me up. I needed someone to remind me who I am. Some of you got degrees. Some of you got skill sets. Some of you have been working in a job for a long, long time. You done built up. Some of you have leadership skills. You've been managing teams at work. But when it comes to running your business, you forgot who you are. You letting people treat you left, right, and center. They're telling you they're signing up every month. And all now they don't sign up. They're telling you that they want this information. And you're sitting there giving them hours and hours and hours and hours. Enough is enough, guys. You got to know your worth. You got to know your worth. They're lying to you. And that's not a reflection of them. That's a reflection on you. Because if you are truthful with yourself, the book says you're lying to yourself if you don't listen to their actions. If they thought you were worth it, they would have signed up. If they thought you were worth it, they would have fulfilled what they had. Let me tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. If Beyonce phoned you and said, pay £200 and she will take you on a tour, or Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, or somebody that you highly rate said, pay £250 and I will take you around left, right, and center and show you whatever it is, or one of these footballers or some of these superstars, you will find that £200, yes or no, and you will pay. So the reason why they haven't paid, because they don't find you valuable enough. But see, you don't see that. You're saying, okay, when are you gonna get the money? When are you gonna get the money? When are you gonna get the money? And then you see them online and they're shopping. You see them online and they don't pay for another mentor, one that didn't play that game with them, one that didn't say, oh, wait, when are you gonna sign? You signing up? You still signing up? Let me tell you this. It's a new Nikki now. Some of you got to say, new me now. I want you to type that in the chat. New me now. Stop making people play you. Stop making people mess you about. Stop making people look at your business as a little tiny business. Listen to me good. You will get paid what you think you're worth. Reason why you ain't had no one sign up, because you ain't even signed up to you. You don't even believe in you yet. You don't even believe that you deserve £250. Listen, I tell you this right now, my prices just went up. After that conversation with the CEO, my price went up 27K. On discount, 17,000. Minimum to work with me. They can't afford me no more. I'm not playing. I'm well too skilled. And some of you got to remember the skill sets that you have. 15 years banking experience, multi-million-pound property portfolio from the age of 21. I've been in this game a long time. Bought my house from trading profits. I've got the receipts. Multiple Airbnb contracts. Multiple. No one can't tell me that I don't know my stuff. And no one shouldn't tell you that you don't know your stuff. I don't care what's going on in your life. I don't care what season you're in right now. Do not allow your current results to dictate how you posture up and how you stick your chest out when it comes to describing who it is that you are. And the book says this: if you're truthful with yourself, you will save yourself a lot of emotional pain. They don't just lie to you. You lie to you. You know how you lie to you? By justifying it. Justifying how they treat you. Keep giving them extensions, deadlines, right? It says if someone is not treating you with love and respect, it is a gift if they walk away from you. If that person doesn't walk away, you will surely endure many years of suffering. Walking away may hurt for a while, but your heart will eventually heal. Then you can choose what you really want. You will find that you don't need to trust others as much as you need to trust yourself to make the right choices. Ladies and gentlemen, enough is enough. Do you trust yourself to make the right choices? Do you trust yourself to stand strong in your business, in your conviction, in your decision-making? Thank God they left. In fact, some of you need to pray right now that more of them leave. Those people that are not serious, leave from my presence. Those people that are not going to treat me with the respect that I deserve, I pray, leave from my presence. You see, you're too scared for people to leave. You're too scared for people to leave because you have this attachment that your worth is in their validation. I rebuke that today. The empowerment that you get from taking it back. Now, you see, unfortunately, my window for you to sign up was tonight, right? And if it's you know, it seems like you don't have the money, or maybe you just don't value it enough, or maybe you just, you know, maybe you just don't want to do it. That's absolutely fine. But my window is today. So if it's not today, unfortunately, you have to go on a waiting list, and I'll see when I'll be able to service you. And that's not a threat, that's fact. Do you understand how you got to love yourself enough, ladies and gentlemen? Do you understand that this fourth agreement is this second agreement is no game? It's no game. If somebody is not treating you with the love and respect that you deserve, it is a gift if they walk away. It saves you from years of pain. And then we went into the third agreement. This is where it got deeper, right? This is about don't make assumptions. So you don't assume they can't afford it. Everybody can afford it. Every single person can afford it. Every single person has time. Every single person has the money. Every single person has enough energy to do what it is that they said that they're going to do. What the issue is they don't value it enough to make a decision. So instead of you saying, you know, they probably don't have the money, don't make an assumption, or they're busy, they're working full time, they don't have the time, or they're doing loads of, you start making assumptions for them. No, ask the question. So the question is you said you was going to sign up into my program and you haven't done so. Is it that you don't have the money, or is it that you don't want to do it? Oh, no, it is. It's just I get paid on the 1st. Okay, so is it that you're going to sign up on the 1st? Right? Don't make excuses and assumptions for people. Ask the question. You'll be surprised. Some people are embarrassed that maybe they have to wait till payday. And that should show you who is in control out here. That should show you that, hold up now, they need you. Because if they can't make a decision until payday, guys, do you know there's a lot of people out there that make people insecure because they don't make decisions? And you don't even realize that the reason they're not making a decision is because they don't physically have the cash to do so on that day. They have to wait one day a month to make a decision. And that's the person that you're feeling insecure about, somebody that's not been able to secure finances, especially if they're in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Mighty God. And if you've been working in this country, you've got a job, or you've been doing a business in this country, in UK or third world, a really first world country for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and you don't have 250 pounds to make a decision, or you don't have 1,000 pounds to make a decision, you need a program. You need a mentor. Don't be feeling insecure about that. You have no reason to feel insecure. You're the position that should be helping them from that place. But you see, you allow somebody that doesn't have the money, that doesn't have the confidence to make a decision, that doesn't have even the boldness to look you in the eye and say, hey, look, I really like your program, but actually, I just don't have the money. And you make that person make you feel insecure because you make assumptions. The book says, don't make assumptions. It's always better to ask questions than making assumptions, because assumptions set us up for suffering. Making assumptions in our relationships is really asking for problems. Often we make assumptions that our partners will know what we think, even though we haven't said it. We have this you should have known type attitude. Making assumptions can lead to fights, difficulties, misunderstandings. And in any kind of relationship, if we make assumptions of what we think people are thinking, rather than what we know, it can bring forward damage. This is why we have the fear of being ourselves, because we make an assumption that everyone is judging us. How many of us have ever been guilty of that? How many of us have ever been guilty, like, okay, what's wrong with me? Why did they do that? And the assumption is if you ask questions, you're stupid. Or if you ask questions, you're being pushy. Or if you ask questions, guys, do you know if you don't pay your gas bill, the gas company will send you a message asking you to pay? They don't make an assumption, they ask, because they're running a business. When you're running a business, you're not scared to ask questions. So you don't see my value, but you want to get value from me, but you don't see my value enough to pay for it. Is that what we're saying? Right? I have no problem. I've asked multiple people that this week. I'm not playing anymore. It's over, guys. You see, when you have the light bulb moment, the revelation, and you realize who you are, and you really begin to rebuild, you really begin to really get the boldness and the confidence of who it is that you are, you will be confident in asking questions. But you're too scared to ask questions now because you're desperate for people to sign up. I rebuke that spirit of desperation. I rebuke that spirit where you don't look at your business as a business. You see somebody come into our restaurant, do you think we're begging them to buy a dessert? We go over to them and say, what is it that you like? Whether they buy a cup of tea or a 3-course meal, we're not going to say, you're going to have, you walk up and say, oh, would you like the desserts menu? They say no. That's it. Ain't no one going to be calling them and saying, you sure you don't want a cake? You sure you don't want a cake? Would you go back to that restaurant? If you had a waitress coming up to you saying, are you sure? Excuse me, I know you said you didn't want any desserts, but have you changed your mind? Do you still want a dessert? Do you still want pudding? We have some nice cake on the menu. No, you wouldn't. You got to respect yourself and respect your business. My goal for you is you become a business person. You really become a business person when you understand your worth. When you understand, don't make assumptions. You don't need to be rude, but you can ask questions. You're entitled to ask questions. And I believe we gave homework last week on really asking questions. Who did the work? The questions is, hey, we had a conversation. I'm just following up with you. Are you doing this? Right? Don't be afraid to ask questions. Right? And then we went on to the fourth agreement, which was always doing your best. And the fourth agreement, always doing your best, was around, making sure that you prepare your mind to do the best that you can. When you wake up feeling energized, you're going to do better than when you wake up feeling tired. And as you build the habits, the other 3 habits, you begin to be impeccable with your word, and you realize not to make assumptions, and you understand not to take things personally, and you're always doing your best. What happens is you then get into a nice routine. Okay. You don't want to overdo it because you'll then overstretch. You'll be tired. And you don't want to underdo it because what happens is then you don't get the results. So you want to make sure that you just know every day that you're waking up and you're doing your best. And what does doing your best mean? It means taking action. Taking action because you want to. There's pride in you that you want to do your best. If you take action because you have to, rather than just the pride of it, then it won't last because you feel like, And the book actually says that action is living fully. That's what action is. Inaction is actually denying your life. And I thought that was a very, very powerful point. And then last week, we went into chapter 6, which was about breaking old agreements, the way that we used to think, the things that we used to think. And we spoke about, if we look at, this whole victim mentality versus the judge, and how the victim rules our life. We no longer, we're no longer free because we feel like a victim. Oh my God, I really wish I could because I just don't have the time. I don't have the money. If my parents help me, and we start having this whole victim mentality. And then we have, the book gave us a real clear definition of how to free ourselves from being the victim, to really make decisions and understand that we're no longer children. When we were a child, we had to listen to our parents. We had to program our mind the way that, our minds were programmed for us. But as adults, we now have a decision how we think. We have a decision to kill that victim mentality and begin to say, no, I can claim my life. I can actually design the life that I want. I can be the person that I want to be. I can rebuild my life in any shape or form. I get to choose the bricks that I put towards it. I get to choose the agreements that I believe in. I get to choose who I'm around, who I work with, who I have a relationship with, who I do life with. I get to choose my life partner. When we start to think like there's a choice that we can live the life that we truly desire, we then start to free ourselves from this whole victim mentality, right? And the book also says that the worst part of it is, sometimes I cry when I see people with skills, talents, and gifts, and they just don't know it. The book says some people don't even know that they're not free. Some people don't even recognize the fact that they are in chains of enslavement. And you see, you can't save everybody. You can't. The first step is obviously towards awareness, because the book talks about how awareness is the first step to change. If you're not aware, you can't even change it. To master your own thoughts and to master your own dreams. And the book calls it the Toltecs. And Toltecs are dream masterers. So your life is the manifestation of your dream. And you can change life anytime you are enjoying the dream that you have. So anytime you don't like the dream that you're living, you have a choice to change. You can create the masterpiece that you call your life. You have the choice to do this. Now, the book talks about 3 different masteries of this whole Toltec mentality. The first step is mastering the awareness, being aware of what it is that you want, aware of all the possibilities of your life, not living in one box. You know, I remember when I first worked in the bank 15 years. I was like, no, I never want to do anything else. This is my best job. I'm never going to leave. This is it. My little $3,500 a month. This is the best. I'm going to just be here for another. And then I got exposed to the network marketing industry. I got exposed to the coaching world. And I was like, oh my God, there's possibilities. And then I went to my network marketing company and I was like, oh my God, this is the only network marketing company I'm ever going to be in. And I did the same thing. I started to close down my options. And then I began to affirm I'm open and receptive to whoever God will bless me in my life to help me to move to the next level. And that's when doors began to open, because I didn't have a closed mindset. So the Toltec's mastery number 1 was about awareness. The second mastery was transformation, being brave enough to change, to free from the domestication situation that we spoke about in the first agreement. The first step to really, after you have the awareness, is the transformation. What is transformation? Taking action, going towards what it is that you know that you want in your life. And then the third one is intent. So intent is around energy. It's around the way that you have an unconditional love for what it is that you want to do and where it is that you want to go, your creator, and you have an intent to really succeed bigger than anybody else's opinions, bigger than anybody else's thoughts about you. Guys, join me and say, I no longer care what other people think about me. That is none of my business. I know who I am. I know my self-worth. I know what I bring to the table. I understand that whoever is going to be in alignment with me is going to help me to grow and get to the next level. Whoever I'm in alignment with, I'm going to help to grow and to get to the next level. I am open and receptive to who God puts in my life to really sit under the mentorship and to grow and develop in the way that God really wants me to move. I have no doubts in my mind that I am an asset to anybody's life that I enter. I know for a fact that whoever God puts me in their life, they are going to excel. Whoever accepts the assignment that God has for them based on me, based on God using me as a vessel, will be blessed over their life, will see manifestations happen in their life. I understand it and I know it. And so I don't joke around with it. I don't joke around with it. I'm not here to convince anybody about it. I'm not here to make anybody else believe it. I don't care what other people believe. I know what I believe. And I know that whatever God wants for me, whatever God has put in front of me, it cannot be not for me. The book says, if we look at the description of a parasite, this is where you got to be careful, guys. Parasites are living beings who live off other living beings, sucking their energy without useful contribution in return and hurting their host little by little. A parasite is a living being who lives off other living beings, sucking their energy without any useful contribution in return and hurting their host little by little. Guys, I want to pray right now that nobody on this call has any parasites sucking the life out of them. I pray you have no parasites around you. I pray you can discern when there's parasites around you. I pray that you can understand that your boundaries is what's going to protect you against the parasites that come to suck your energy dry without giving you any contribution whatsoever. They will suck you dry until you have nothing left to give. I declare right now and I decree that no one on this call will be on the end of a parasite. I want to help you right now. And I pray if you've ever felt like maybe you've had some parasite traits, today's the day. Today is the day where you can turn it all around. Because the book says the freedom we seek is the use of our own mind, body, and life. We get to choose whether we have the victim mentality or we get to choose whether we are free with that whole Toltecs mentality. And we got to be, in order to do that, we got to be free from the parasite. And it says the parasite can be compared to a monster in our mind. Every head of the parasite is one of the fears that we have. And we have to destroy the parasite. Low self-esteem, not believing in ourselves, poor hygiene, poor health, poor decision-making, judging everybody, thinking everybody's judging you. All these we have to kill. In fact, the book says that there's a couple of ways that you can get rid of the parasite. You've got to be free from the parasite. The first way is to kill it dead. Be free from all those things. The second thing is to stop feeding it, to kill the parasite by starvation. So we got to refrain from fueling those emotions. Get away from broke people, guys. I'm sorry to say it. I'm going to be real. Some of you got to get away from these broke people. People that keep talking lack. Oh, I don't have the money. You know, I don't have the money. I don't have the money. I don't want to. I need to get away from those words. Remember, word is seed. And if you keep hanging around people that keep talking like that, keep saying they don't have the money, keep saying they lack, what do you think is going to happen? This stuff rubs off. I'm so sorry to say, this stuff rubs off. If you've ever spoken lack over your life, I pray you wash your mouth out with soap. Stop speaking with people that lack. I don't want to hear it. I cut in conversations quick. If I hear anybody speaking like I'm running away, oh my God, stop speaking like that. That might rub off on me. I don't want any of that brokenness, please. Because when I was broke, I was desperate to get around the right people. I borrowed money so I could be a part of Dr. David Imonitie's program, which, by the way, you guys ain't ready. When you're desperate for change, when you're hungry, I see you, Belinda. Listen, Belinda said, listen, I'm desperate for change. She said, I'm going to be at that retreat, Nikki. Right? You have to make a decision. You can't be desperate for change and then sitting there like, oh, I don't have the change to get the change that I need. Huh? But you'll be down Mooley's every week buying chicken and chip. You got a TV though. And you sit there and watch it. Huh? No, you have the money. You just don't have the mindset to change. You just don't have the sacrifice in you to change. You keep feeding that parasite in your mind, the food that's killing your dreams, instead of starving the parasite and feeding your goals, feeding your dreams. Oh, you want to go around the road? You want to go to your cousin and them? You want to get financial advice from your cousin and them? Or you want to get financial advice from somebody you don't have the results that you want because they're going to charge you £50. But you don't want to invest in yourself. You don't want to put yourself in the right place because, oh no, that's going to take sacrifice. Oh, that's going to hurt a bit. Oh yeah, you may have to cut off Netflix for a few months. You may have to, maybe some of those other things that you're paying for that's not helping you survive. You may have to sacrifice that. Come to me to negotiate my charge. No negotiations. No negotiation. You can't negotiate with Bill Gates. You can't negotiate with Elon Musk and them. You can't negotiate with Oprah. And let me tell you this, the way I feel right now, they ain't nothing different from them to me. We have the same blood going through our body. The only thing, they got a little bit more years on me. But I'm telling you now, I'm coming for the spot because I know what I'm worth, right? So we got to kill the parasite by stop feeding the parasite, right? Maybe if you went on a diet, right, you may save the bread that you need to invest in yourself. Okay? And the third solution is the initiation of the dead. Now, this is really drastic, but this is like a whole serenade of killing the parasite. Like you manifesting is dead. So you may have some music on and you may do some trying, you may get your mind in the game, right? To really get rid of it spiritually out of yourself. Listen, whatever you need to do to get rid of that parasite and start believing in yourself, mighty God, I pray you do that tonight, right? I pray you do that tonight, but you must become aware that you are dreaming all the time. All of us are dreaming, whether we're doing it intentionally or not. You're thinking about something always. So the next step is to develop the awareness of all of the self-limiting, the fear-based thoughts that make you unhappy. Be aware of it. Can you think about your thinking so that you can really stamp these things out? These 4 agreements, guys, if you really understand them on the level that I'm understanding it, it is a declaration of it is almost a declaration of war against poverty, against the parasite that comes to take you out. And you can either allow the parasite to take you out, or you can fight against it and ready to war. How do you war, guys? You war by very simply declaring that you are going to be impeccable with your word, that you are not going to take anything serious, personally, that you're not going to make assumptions, that you're going to always do your best. You're going to break some of those old paradigms, those old habits that keep the parasite fed inside your mind. And then you're going to start dreaming big, destroying the domestication mindset and really thinking on a big scale where you can go out there and conquer the world. You can do whatever it is that you know God has called on your heart. Ladies and gentlemen, love yourself enough to follow the 4 agreements. If you haven't read this book, I pray that I've inspired you enough to pick up this book and read this book. And anytime you feel like you're dropping off, anytime you're losing your self-worth, anytime you feel like your results are going down, you pick this book up and you read it again and again and again and again until you look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? I am worth more. You know what? I've been playing too small. You know what? I am going to invest in myself. You see, I can go down your bank statement, ladies and gentlemen, and I can see you spent £4,000 in Morley's this year. I can see you spent 12 grand in KFC. I can see you spent X amount in the sports shop, Foot Locker, and JD Sports. How much have you spent on your mind? How much have you spent feeding the one thing, according to the book, the most important tool that you have to fight against the parasite, to fight against the old paradigms? How much, if I check your bank statement, how much have you invested in your mind? Would it be there? Would it be there? Is it something that you're intentional about as much as you're intentional about feeding your physical body? Because I put to you, ladies and gentlemen, that you can go a day without eating. You can fast for a week without eating physically. But don't you dare go without feeding your mind, because that is a death situation. That is not a good thing at all. That is a situation that I would not encourage. That's why suicide is up. People don't believe in themselves. They lost vision because they don't pour into their mind. They're focused more on the present situation than they are on the future, right? They're forgiven up on their future. That's why people commit suicide, because they don't see a future for themselves anymore. You got to feed your mind. You got to love your life enough. Love yourself enough. You know, I said to a lady, you know, when was the date that you stopped loving yourself? Because you're telling me the 250 pounds, you're not worth 250 pounds. How long have you not loved yourself enough? Like, how long has it been? Because when the book says that we start domesticating ourselves, like you're so used to it now. Like, you're so used to being paid once a month that it almost becomes so normal. So when somebody comes to you and says, no, you can get paid every day. You can travel the world. Your children can be in whatever school you want. You can make whatever amount of money you want. You can actually live a happy life. You think it's a dream. You think, oh no, that cannot happen, because you've self-domesticated. You've been brainwashed, domesticated since you were born. And so we got to rewire those paradigms. But can you remember one time where I remember when I used to work on the market stall, 15 years young. I buy myself these Evisu jeans, Moschino, the Versace. Who remembers the Bugs Bunny and the Tasmanian Devil Versaces and all that? I didn't care, 200-300 pounds. I said I was worth it. And then when I started having the kids, I forgot about that. Everything was the kids. And I went through a season when my second child was born. I was like, hold up, I need to remember when I used to spend money on myself, because I believed I was worth it. You see, I want you to go back to your childhood days when you believed you were worth something. You didn't care about spending 250 pounds on yourself. So something changed. Life happened, a relationship happened, children happened, that you forgot who you were. You forgot that you're actually worth more than that. And now you start to tell yourself you're not even worth anything. So you come out with these limiting beliefs, these spills of poison, but calls it poison. That's not you talking. That's the parasite in you talking. Please, guys, get back to loving yourself again. Posture up, put your head up, know your worth, invest in yourself, because no one ain't gonna invest in you. You wonder why your business ain't flourishing. You expect people to invest in you, but you won't invest in you. That don't make no sense. You're gonna invest in yourself. And that leads me in nicely, guys, for the book next week. I'm excited about this one. This one is a heavy one. This one isn't for everyone. In fact, we're only going to do one chapter of this, and I encourage you all, take a screenshot of this, guys, post it on social media, tag me in. I encourage you all, right, to read this book after we've finished it. We're only going to go through chapter 1. It is a heavy book. We're just going through chapter 1, but I want to expose your mind to something bigger, right? And it is called The Power Principle. One of my favorite authors, Stephen Covey, is also has even also written the foreword of this. It's by Blaine Lee, and it is The Power Principle. Okay, influence with honor. This book right here, you are going to learn the power on the inside of you. If you've already bought it, I know I only announced it yesterday, but if you've already bought the book, let me know. If you're ordering it, put a 7 in the chat. If you've already ordered it, put an 8 in the chat. But the power principle is what we're going to be looking at starting from next week. So go ahead and order your book. Guys, I don't want to hear no one say you ain't got money to order a book that's going to pour into your mind. This is going to be part of your investment into yourself. Go order the book, The Power Principle by Blaine Lee. Absolutely phenomenal. We're only going to go through chapter 1. Okay. Powerful, powerful book. And then I'm going to encourage you to go. Let me give you a little taster of this book. It says, it is a puzzle to some people that their influence increases as their honor increases. But it does. Honor is power. It is not appearance or manipulation, clever words or egotistical desires that brings about this change. It's something deeper. Influence lasts over extended periods of time, and principle-centered power encourages ethical behavior because followers feel to choose based on what they want most. Guys, this book right here is going to give you the path to power over yourself. It's not for everyone, but it's very, very deep, and we're going to go for it. We're going to attack it. I want to expose your mind. I want to expose your mind. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to this. Any comments, guys? Anything that you guys want to say about the book? Please let me know. Please type inside the community. Also as well, just aligned with what we were saying, if you are part of the Rebuild community at the moment, the one on Telegram, if you are in there already, congratulations. That's fantastic. If you're not in there, then you may want to get in there, because from next year, that group will not be free. There will be a charge for that group because the price has just got to go up. And also people actually, what they do is they honor things more when they pay for it. So the group, if you're not inside that Rebuild community on Telegram, please send me a DM and I will get you in there. It is free to join now. And that's where you're going to see, of course, certain sessions that I put on. You're also going to see some of the events that I do, and motivation will be in there. But after the end of this year, guys, that group will not be free anymore. So I would advise you to make sure you're in that group from early. If you know anybody at all that needs to be in there, you may want to position them in there as well. But otherwise, there is going to be a fee for that group from 2024. So congratulations. You know, timing and positioning is everything, and there will be a few more price increases as well. So congratulations. If you are already in, you have solidified you know, today's price. But remember, today's price is not tomorrow's price. Okay, so love you all, guys. Do me a favor, go inside the community and let me know your top 5 takeaways from this call. Okay, so whether you're in the network marketing community on Discord, or that would be in the section that says mindset call, please put your top 5 takeaways. I do read them all. Or whether you're in the Rebuild community, or both, just copy and paste both of them in there. Feel free, guys. I want you all take a picture, tag me in, so I know that you are part of next month. This is going to be a powerful one as we step it up in September. Hint, hint. This is going to be a very, very powerful book, The Power Principle, knowing the power that's on the inside of you, understanding how to exude your power and be who it is that you've been called to be. Okay, so make sure you get the book. Tag me in on IG. I am Nikki Sutherland, the only page I have, no underscores, no numbers. And I will see you all, guys, inside the communities and also at the next event. By the way, I have the next event out. The price is going up, I think, at the end of this week, because there's only a few of the tickets left. I think it was 15 as of yesterday. We have the Rebuild workshop on the 16th of next month at 4 p.m. at venue 28. So if you haven't already got your ticket, you need to get your ticket. There's a promo code for those of you that are inside the community. You will see the promo code. All right. And any of you that have been to any of the Rebuild events before, you have a promo code so that you can get a discount to the tickets. So of course, I want to see you down there. I would definitely advise everyone to be down there, because I have an extremely special announcement, which will only be for those that are in the Rebuild community. So this is very exciting. You definitely want to be in the room, venue 28 on the 16th at 4 p.m. And that is workshop 3, which is around being able to sell your product or service, being able to be confident in yourself and sell yourself in the form of branding. Also being able to sell to your children if you have children. Is all different angles of selling, being confident in yourself, confident with your customers, and confident around your family as well. So it's going to be a very, very powerful. As you know, I've got some special speakers there. I haven't announced the 4th one. I can't wait to announce her. But we have, of course, Michelle Raymond. She's going to be teaching on selling to corporate. We have Jen Beckford, who is a teenage mom, teenage and mom or dad, parent, teenager coach. So she's going to be talking about selling to families and your children. And then, of course, we have a beautiful Bev, who is going to be talking about selling online and selling community. She's built up a fabulous community really, really quickly. And then we have one more special guest who's going to talk to you about branding and how to really brand yourself and make sure you're powerful. And I, of course, will be talking about selling in a business, and I'll be going through my business opportunity as well. So it is going to be an absolutely phenomenal event with a very, very special announcement at the end for only people that are, of course, inside the community. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all, guys. The link for the event is inside my bio. If you're in the community, make sure you check the community link so that you can get the promo code as well. Okay, guys, if you buy without a promo code, you should have read, right? Reading is very, very important. Okay, so with that being said, good night. God bless you. All right, and I look forward to seeing you all in the community. Take care, guys. God bless. Peace out.